Thursday. Namaskar, which means the divinity in myself meets the same divinity in you with all the charms of my mind, the love of my heart. Sorry, I'm a few minutes late. I had something I had to attend to quickly. So today is Thursday. We are talking about the Vishuddha chakra. Vishuddha chakra, it is called the solar plexus of the body. It deals with sound. And so that's very interesting. This part here we call the sidereal plexus, which has to do with starlight, feeling of ether. And up here we have the solar plexus, igneous plexus. Some people think that's the solar plexus. It's called the Manipura chakra. It's the igneous plexus to do with heat or fire. This one is called sidereal or sidereal plexus, which has to do with starlight, air, and that aspect. That's why we breathe here. And this one here is called the solar plexus. It stretches from one side of the ear to across to the other. It incorporates the thymus. Well, actually, that's part of the Anahat chakra, but the thyroid and parathyroid glands, everything to do with timing inside the body, also arise here, and everything to do with speech, thinking, song, and to do with sound, essentially, is existing inside this part. So there's 16 different thoughts that come from here, and 8 of them are sounds. It means the glands in this area, when they're activated and we're able to lift our mind into this part of the body with the most subtle thinking, then different thoughts will arise. And 8 of them are to do with sound. Sound of peacock, of ox, sound of a goat, that sort of meh sound, or deer, which makes a really strange sound. So I can't do it. Cuckoo, that distant echoing of a cuckoo, that cuckoo, right out through space and time. The sound of a donkey and the sound of an elephant. Elephant's got that, like really such a strong, full-on sound. So they express different emotions or different feelings that we have inside ourselves, to be able to be whimsical, to be able to be strong, to be able to be crying for help. There's the sound of a goat. If you ever heard little goats crying out, they neigh like this forever and ever and ever. I've heard them in Africa. And it sounds like a bleating child, so that sense of help me is also in here. The sound of a peacock is a very amazing sound, if you've heard that. So they evoke different feelings or different sentiments when we hear those sounds, and they are the subtle kind of thoughts that run through the mind when this part of the body is activated. So, for example, if you do spend a lot of time going to music concerts, particularly classical music or oriental music, or you like to listen to the sound of flutes or the ocean or things like that, and it resonates for you, then it means that you'll probably have a very subtle mind around sound. And definitely the musicians that I know, their subtle sense of emotion that's evoked through the sound or the music that they make is exquisite. It's very, very special. And I have one such friend who's a musician. Her name's Mignon, and Mignon's going to help me to get some music for this yoga class set up. And when she does that, she's got a beautiful album for sale. So I'm going to put that onto the page. And if anybody wants to buy Mignon's music, it'll be available. The links will be available in this site. So I'm expecting her music by this weekend. I hope she and I can get it together. So I'm very excited about that, because sound adds a whole new dimension to the way that we think. And when I first started yoga here, which was tomorrow's 8 weeks. Goodness, 8 weeks since we got the news of coronavirus. At that time, the birds in my forest were just going crazy. It was the end of summer, and it was so loud every morning. We would be just doing yoga to bird sound. There's still a few now. But now as we go into winter, they're all starting to nest. So I can see them out the windows, and they're nesting, and they're not calling out to each other. They've finished that whole time of mating and calling, whatever they were doing. And now they're just settling down. They're starting to kind of hibernate. And a lot of them have migrated. So I don't have the sounds that I used to have to accompany the class. and I want to bring some sounds back in. So Minion's going to help me. I'm very excited. Going on a bit more about this area. So the first 8 are to do with sound, and then the next 8 of the emotions that come up from here, they're very subtle. We talked about Manipura chakra, and that's all of the ones to do with fiery thinking, anger, hatred, greed, sadistic tendency, like really strong longing, infatuation, ownership. It's very powerful, Manipura chakra. Then Anahat chakra, things become more subtle, and it's to do with the things to do with hope. We have worry here, we have effort, vanity. Here we can discriminate, so we're able to understand things and not understand and decide whether or not we're going to use those things. We have a sort of fear in here that makes a shock, that makes us so numb that we can't think. That exists in the Anahat chakra. We also have greed and hypocrisy. We also have repentance, or the feeling of, I would like to, make amends to somebody. All of those feelings, and the feeling of mamata or love, all of those exist in the Anahat chakra. So you can see as we move up the body, we get closer and closer to poetry, if you like. From the base chakras, which are all to do with instinct, at the very base of the base chakras, like the Svadhisthana chakra, to do with the sex glands, is about how to reproduce, how to get my instinctive needs met, how to save myself should an earthquake occur. But the Manipura chakra becomes a bit more subtle. It's how to nurture myself, how to feed myself, how to get ownership and create a settled environment for myself. And then coming into the heart, it becomes how to express myself with love, with vanity, with discrimination, and so on. And then finally, we come up to the Vishuddha chakra that we're working on today, and this is the area of thought or idea. Something's happened to my video. I might just try to fix it. I'll see if I can. Excuse me one moment. There's a technical hitch going on. We'll see if I can get it going again. One moment. So while I'm doing that, I can still chat a little bit more about the other 8. So 8 are the sounds of animals, and then the other 8 are to do with emotions that we hold in this area. And give me 1 minute. I'll get this live up here for Facebook. So these are to do with how we adjust to thinking. No, it doesn't seem to want to work today. Let me see. Here we go. So when we get ideas, somewhere in the body or in the mind, we process ideas and they become our values. And so what happens inside this part of the body is that we start to waken up our value thinking. And that's why study and thought and words and the things that people do when we want to, here we go, going back live onto Facebook. So this area here, the other 8 emotions, 8 of them are just sounds, and that means that they'll evoke a certain thought or a certain feeling when you hear certain sounds. So they are the sounds of different animals, very strong and powerful, or very melancholic kind of animal sounds that create different sort of emotions. So if you do spend time at the ballet or you spend time at classical music concerts and things like that, you'll often find that different emotions come up when we're listening, just purely listening to sound or beautiful sights that are very ethereal. That's the area here. It also deals with ideas. So if we have any ideas that run us, it means our religious concepts, our political concepts, our intellectual concepts, our economic concepts, all those things, that our health concepts, all those ideas that we subscribe to, they live, or the feeling of them is here in the throat. This is the area that deals with thinking, with deep thinking, with values, basically. So the emotions inside here are the sound of creation being started. And you might sometimes feel that when your mind starts to expand and you get a sense, of wonder about how things are made. It's an idea or a thought. For example, watching David Attenborough. Watching David Attenborough or anything from NASA, it's like, wow, that's so amazing. And it creates this sense of wonder And this is the sense of, it's called Omkara. Omkara means the sound of the universe unfolding. We have that in our throat. We can't make the noise, but it's too big. But it exists there, and it's very, very expansive. So when we start to go into expansive thinking around ideas, we're waking up this area. And also the sound of Kundalini rising. A lot of people do Kundalini yoga. Kundalini is like a serpentine kind of force that sits at the base of the spine, and it pierces each chakra or energy center as our mind becomes more subtle. So the sound of that rising is called hum. And hum, again, I can't make it with my mouth, but it's the feeling of hum. And sometimes people meditating do that. They go hum. And it's the feeling that their Kundalini is starting to pierce each of the chakras, and the mind is waking up to more and more subtle thought. Other emotions in here, one is called fat, and fat means the feeling of starting to understand how to take an idea and put it into practice. So if, for example, communism was written by Karl Marx, and then different people like Stalin and quite a few others, Mussolini and so on, they grabbed the idea of communism and Mao Zedong, and they took that idea and made it practical. It might not have been a good idea, but they did do that. And it's the same for us with capitalism. I think his name's Joseph Roberts. I'll find out. He wrote out the idea of free trade. It was just an idea to help start the Industrial Revolution, and humans in what we call the Western side of the world grabbed hold of those ideas for free trade and the beginning of capitalism, thought it's a good idea. It worked for us individually, maybe not so good collectively, but we took hold of it, and it's become an idea that runs us. So those things happen inside the throat. The throat has the chance to be able to take an idea, make it practical, and bring it into existence. And so some of you may have done that in your life. You've had a feeling, yes, I'd like to be a nurse or a teacher or a doctor or a lawyer or whatever, and that idea has then been manifested, and you've put it into practice and taken on that career. That is because this part of the mind has been activated, which we could say is not pituitary, but the thyroid and the parathyroid glands. They have the effort, the chance to take the effort from the heart and put it into practication. And to do that also, you need to be able to speak quite often. Although somebody like Stephen Hawkins, well, he did find a way to speak through a computer, but he had incredible ideas, and he put them into practication, even from his wheelchair. Amazing astronomer. And he was able to bring that whole world to life for NASA. So using our thought means that we can change, not just ourselves, we can actually change society. And that's all to do with this area here. It also gives the feeling for noble action. It gives the feeling to feel surrendered to a cosmic thought, or to God, or whatever you might call it, to a higher power. That all opens up in the throat. So it's a very important part of the body, and I've been talking about it a lot. I'm going to go and get us going with yoga. All right, so let's do our yoga practices for the throat. We'll begin with our usual warm-ups, hand behind the back, breathing in and breathing out, forward and down, and hold. Breathe in and come up. We'll repeat this 8 times. Breathing out, forward and down, and hold. Breathe in, coming up. So to work well on the throat area, we also go into shoulder stands. So we'll warm up with the basic exercises first. Exhale. And breathe in, come up. And those regularly, we'll go from shoulder stand into something called Shiva Asana. Exhale and hold. Which is one step on from stand. We'll try that today. Exhale and hold. Fully exhale. 2, 3, 4, 5. Breathe in, coming up, and breathing out, forward and down. Hold. Breathe in, coming up. And last time, forward and down. Hold. Breathe in, coming up. We'll go straight down into Cobra and practice Noik Asana also twice, the bow. So Cobra we'll do 4 times because I want to get onto the throat work. So breathing out, breathe in, come up, hold. And exhale. This is very good because it stretches out the throat and the chest. Breathe in, come up, hold for 8 counts. And breathe out, forward and down. Breathe in, coming up and hold. Breathing out, forward and down. And last time. Breathing in, come up, hold for 8 counts. Breathe out, forward and down. And then we're going to grab our ankles and lifting the body up. We'll do Noak Asana twice. Lifting up and hold. Again, this is opening the throat. And also stretching the spine and shoulders. Again, coming up and hold. And letting go down. Okay, we're going to go moving straight on. Just stretch your body out. Nice long stretch through the back. And coming up on all fours, we'll also bend the spine up towards the ceiling, just to loosen the spine, and then drop it down towards the mat. And what we want to do is just weight the spine up before we do shoulder stand. Breathing in, come up. And relax down again. And breathing in, dropping your neck. And relax. And then just to give the spine a bit of a twist, we will do spinal twist next. Just look over your shoulder towards your buttocks. Shift them around. And straight, and the other side. And straight. Then we'll do spinal twist, which is excellent for the throat and chest. Leg under, other leg over. And again, this will warm up the spine before we go into shoulder stand. So what we do is you can hold your leg back with your knee. So legs cross over each other. And then if you can, hold your knee. Then pull that knee under your armpit and push that back with the opposite arm to leg. So this leg, which is this arm, is twisted over, and this arm is coming over the top. Then if you're able, catch your foot and twist around. Look over your shoulder as far as possible with your eyes as well. Breathe normally. And release. And then the other side. So we're tucking, our legs are out in front, we're tucking this one under to your body, and then opposite arm, which is, so this is my same arm. You can see the same arm as my leg, but I'm doing the opposite arm. You can catch the knee and pull it back. And when you do that, you can just start to twist around in the opposite direction. That will also give a full spinal twist. If you're not able to push your elbow in front, you can put your elbow in front, catch your shoulder. That's another way to do it. Or come down, catch your, catch your foot, and then twist around with your arm coming right round onto the waist on the other side and fully twist. Over, catching and twisting. Looking over the shoulder as far as you can because that stretches. Twist the bones in the neck and the throat. Good job, those of you who are keeping up with me. Catching the foot and twisting around. Hold. Okay, so we've stretched the back out, we've stretched the shoulders. Now we're going to go into the shoulder stand. And then we'll be coming down into Shiva Asana. I probably need to take try and leave it with my scarf on, but I usually have to take it off. Let me see, where's my hair? Excuse me, everybody. If I have my hair in a knot, it gets in the way. Pushes pressure on my neck. So never ever do this with far too much pressure on the back of your neck. Just go flat on the floor so that your neck is nice and straight. And then what we're going to do is bring the knees up and then come up onto our hands to hold our buttocks or the lower back and pull the legs straight up. Okay. So coming up, you might find it easy with your knees bent first. I'm going to stop turning my head so I don't break it. And then legs go straight up. This is called the shoulder stand. You can push your body up as high as you can. Now today what we're going to do is come down from shoulder stand into Shiva Asana. So the knees bend, come down towards the forehead, and they're going to drop onto the floor. And then the hands catch together. And we hold in this position. Then relaxing, coming down and into our legs straight down by the side, and we'll go into fish posture and holding your toes so that you stretch the neck out. and relax. Okay, we'll come up and do that one more time. So this one's called Shiva Asana, and it's a variation or the next phase on from our shoulder stand that we've been practicing the last few weeks. If you are a beginner and you've just joined me, then pop into the earlier weeks on the Thursday. And Thursday in week 2, 3, 4 are the very simple yoga exercises with more time of describing how to get in and out of these postures. For those who have been on now for 8 weeks, you'll be finding over time, and that's what happens, you'll be finding over time that you're more and more able to do these difficult postures. So head straight, please nothing under your neck because it will hurt you. Coming up with the knees, we go up into, holding the back, we go up into shoulder stand. And then dropping the knees down, put the knees on either side of the head, catch your hands, and push down onto the floor. And then when we're coming down, we catch our toes and go into fish posture. So if you're not able to do full lotus, then just pop the feet behind and you'll come up onto your elbows and then catch your thighs or your toes. If you're able to do full lotus, then into lotus position, coming up onto the top of the head, catching your toes and holding that full stretch for the throat. Okay, and head down, rolling over, catching your knees, give yourself a nice big warm snug hug. You can release the back also, just arms by the side, twisting over, looking over the other shoulder again. Just do a nice long twist to come out of these postures. And straight, and then the other side, twisting over. One more time, knees up and twist over. And straight, and then twist over. Straighten up and coming out. Let's start with a massage. So we go through the head. of the ears, down through the head, down into the neck. Across the forehead, the eyes, around the eyes, coming down the nose. And around the cheeks, the jaw. Oh, so those of you who are live, I just want to let you know, and other people who are coming later on, we're starting fasting. It means, doesn't mean like, I'll change that. We're doing a detox, a liquid detox for who's interested. It will be beginning tomorrow. So I'm going to put onto the website, onto this Facebook group, the page, that where you can book yourself in if you want to do. And it costs pay as you feel, in case you're worried about finances, especially to pay. It's going to run for 5 days, which means that when we start, you'll be able to start to graduate. We don't go straight into, don't eat today, but we graduate through raw foods and then into full fasting. And if you want to join, you'll be encouraged to do some cleaning of the whole intestinal system. So if you've got enema equipment, you'll need to go out and get that today if you want to do it. That happens around day 3. We start doing enemas to start to clean the guts. And you'll learn all of the ways of how to do fasting. So YouTube video from the Dada, or the monk who's leading it. He has a YouTube video, how to fast easily, I think he calls it. So the reason for fasting is just for detoxing, that you can start to detox, especially those of us who have been in lockdown and feeling like you're eating. My daughter keeps making not only pancakes, but she's been cooking. She wants to experiment with all these new kind of Italian sweets and stuff. So chocolate, peanut butter, and oh my goodness, so they're making all these amazing cakes and stuff, which of course we've all been eating. She's a teenager. If you've been overeating, feeling like you haven't been getting your proper exercise and you just feel bleh, one way to get out of that is definitely through detoxing, which means to limit the amount of solid intake and to move more into a liquid base of eating or drinking, as you like to call it, using juices from fruits and veggies and so on. And doing that for a number of days, it puts the whole digestive system to rest. And during that time, you can start to eliminate fully everything out of the body. So it's a very fantastic practice. And a lot of people are talking about it, wondering how to do it. So we will be doing a 5-day detox with practitioners from all around the world, actually, who have done the training for fasting. And they can meet you each day on a group Zoom meeting to talk about how to deal with any healing symptoms that might come up, headaches, bloating, gas, and things like that people experience when they're fasting or detoxing. Maybe pain in different organs, the gallbladder, the kidneys, or the liver. If you've got any stones, then that might become apparent during a detox. So all of those things can be dealt with, and you can be given guidance of how to get through that over the 5 days. So if you are interested, I will put the link up here and in a couple of other Facebook groups. And it's an exciting adventure. Okay, so finishing our massage down through the feet. I'll take my warm fluffy socks off. It's so nice to have warm feet in wintertime. We're moving into winter now in Australia. So massaging through the toes and the feet, the heels, the back of the heels, and the legs. So back to the throat. As far as chakra science goes, essentially, the instincts or the emotions that are based with like with instinctive kind of behavior, which is just hunger and the desire to procreate and to escape from scary monsters, that they're all based down in the sex glands. So that's, or in that chakra which controls or manages that area of the body. So they're in the Svadhisthana chakra, which is around pretty much level with the pubic bone. And the glands that are associated with the Svadhisthana chakra are essentially, they're not the digestive glands, they are the sexual glands. So they're the ovaries and testes, and also the glands to do with the, what is it called? Prostate, and inside women, the glands to do with the vulva and so on. And those glands have got subtle emotions that get hormones that are secreted not only during the time of sexual activity, but also during different times of even how we're thinking, even when we're fearful and so on. Different glands are also impacted, not only the adrenal glands, but the thymus, the thyroid, the sex glands, everything come into action. So during different kind of activities and different ways of thinking, we'll activate different sort of hormones that affect different glands that secrete those hormones and the lymphatic systems. Very complicated, but very beautiful. So essentially, the sex glands and the chakra that's in the pubic area has to do with instinctive thinking, and it's not very different from the way that animals exist. So we have some beautiful wallabies here, and we watch them during mating season. We watch them all hang out like together and eating, and we watch if there's a noise, how they all take off. And that's basically the way that the Svadhisthana chakra operates. Mostly to do with, there's a bit of critical thinking in there, the tendency to, put other people down, like belittle others. And there's a tendency for a kind of anger, not so strong in the sex glands. It's more in the Manipura chakra. So when you come up, you get to the next level of emotions, and they are to do with the things that we need in order to survive. So we need energy to survive. So when we get cranky, anger, greed, in order to get what we need, the feeling of acquiring things starts to come in the Manipura chakra. And if they're out of balance, then you'll become greedy and we'll start to accumulate a lot of things and get fearful of letting them go. Fear is there. Hatred, very angry if somebody's going to take your things away from you. You start to hate them. You're afraid you're going to lose them. That's all Manipura chakra. It's like the heat of the body. Then when we come up into the Anahat chakra, we get more towards the feelings of love, of identity, of who we are in the world and with our families, and our vanity. Another form of envy there. Jealousy comes from there. And there's also the thought of discrimination. Is this a good idea or not a good idea? That all exists in the Anahat chakra. It's the part of the body that's not hot, it's warm. It's the warm part of the body where we feel a sense of love for others, and attachment starts to happen, connection. It all happens in the heart. When we come to the throat, we come to the area of ideas, and this is where our values sit. So creating a good value system, using our intellect not only to discriminate, which happens in the heart, but how to then put our best work, our best thought, our best behavior into society so that we do noble deeds rather than leaving the planet, worse off than when we came, to leave the planet a better place after our life of contribution. That's the feeling that happens in this chakra, in this area. So those people, and I said it before, I think those great orators who have done tremendous change to help society change, like Nelson Mandela, and people who do tremendous work and sacrifice, like Mother Teresa. And there's so many people in the world, known and unknown, who we look at and think, goodness, they're just dedicated, solid, self-sacrificing. The feeling of surrender and sacrifice comes in this area. Brilliant minds, that also occurs there, to be able to take ideas, absorb them, and put them into practication. That all exists in the throat chakra. So it's an important part of the body. And as far as the glandular works of the Vishuddha chakra, this area, the thyroid and parathyroid, and they have to do with also, it can, the worry that occurs inside the heart can hit up inside here, and you'll get this feeling of what is it called? Sort of anxiety that things aren't going quite right. That happens around the Vishuddha chakra. It actually sits more in the Anahat, but the thyroid and parathyroid are known, if you get a goiter or any of those things, then the person gets extremely nervous. And that nervousness might also be that they don't know what to believe anymore, you know. So this area of the throat, if we look after it, we get a sense of firm belief, a sense of confidence also comes, I think, when we're really strong in our ideas. And then also love and open-heartedness. If our ideas are negative or cruel, then we're waking up sadistic tendency and cruelty, which is sitting in the Manipura chakra or the Svadhisthana chakra. So the opposite can happen between Vishuddha chakra, which means to do great kind deeds, and Manipura chakra, which means to do hateful, hurtful things. So the mind can run between these two areas via the Anahat chakra, which tries to discriminate what's the right thing to do. And I think in times of real difficulty, like when we're afraid or in wars or in times of famine and so on, it's then that the play between the right thing, the wrong thing, the cruel thing, the kind thing, all of those things start to come up, and the heart is working overtime to discriminate. Interesting being humans, huh? Okay, so if you lie down on the mat, that's a bit of a class on the throat. I hope you enjoyed your yoga, and lying down, your palms facing upwards. We'll do our relaxation after our massage. Let's see how much time we've got. Yeah. So imagine yourself to be in a beautiful area. Sunlight is touching your body. You're breathing warmth, love and light into your body. You're in a quiet and relaxing place in nature. And you feel yourself safe, warm, and able to focus on your breathing and focus on your body and allow it to begin to release and relax. Something's wobbling along here. It doesn't matter. Away from the light. You feel yourself bring warmth and light through your feet, breathing into your toes, the balls of your feet coming through into your heels and ankles. That light and warmth, as it floods your body, you feel yourself begin to release and relax all tensions from the body and the mind. As you breathe up through the ankles into your knees and into your thighs, feel your legs, your hips, your pelvic bones begin to release and relax all their tensions. That light and warmth continues up through the base of the spine, radiating through each of the vertebrae, creating tiny puffs of warmth and light between each of the bones in the spine, and flooding through the lower abdomen, touching upon the liver, the kidney, the spleen, releasing and relaxing all tensions in the lower abdomen, coming up through the waist into your lungs, your chest cavity. You feel The ribs release and relax as the spine is letting go, moving up from the waist through into the shoulder blades. Breathe that light and warmth around the shoulder blades so they release and relax all their tensions. Coming up into the shoulders, that light and warmth flooding through the shoulders, the chest, the throat. Any tensions, tightness in the areas of the shoulders or the throat, small thoughts or negative thinking, you release and relax as you exhale, breathing light and warmth, love, connection into your throat, into your chest and shoulders. And as you exhale, any small thoughts leave the body and mind. Flooding down through the arms, down into the fingertips, the hands, the wrists. You feel your hands, your palms completely release and relax all their tensions. Feel that light and warmth flooding up through the arms, from the wrists into the elbows. You feel your elbows completely release and relax as that warmth and light moves up through the arms, into the shoulders and the underarms. That warmth, that light releases the arms, coming up into the neck, each of the bones of the neck. Release and relax as that warmth, that love and light radiates through into the base of the head, the skull, flooding your jaws, your lips, teeth, tongue, your cheeks, your nose cavity, the back of your nose, the back of your eyes, eyelids, eyebrows, forehead. Feel that light and warmth flooding through the face, following the hairline around the temples, coming down the backs of the ears. You feel the base of your skull, the back of your head, your brain, surrounded by it and infused by that warmth, that light, touching the back of all of the sensory organs, the back of your throat, the back of your nose, the back of your eyes, coming into the pituitary and pineal glands, feeling the very center of your head, level with your eyebrows, completely release and relax all its tensions inside the mind. So that from the tip of the toes up to the top of the head, your body is feeling released and relaxed. That light and warmth from the universe is flooding through every joint, every bone, every tendon, your skin, your muscles, and all the organs of your body. As you breathe in light, warmth, and love. And as you breathe out, you feel that warmth and love leaving the body and the mind with the external breath. And then when you're ready, stretching your arms up over your head, stretching through your toes, rolling over onto the side, bringing your knees up to your chest. Feel yourself completely release, relax as you bring your knees towards your body into the recovery fetal position, cuddling your knees to your body. Feel that warmth, that love, that light that's surrounding you and infused through you. Give yourself a big hug. Thank your body for its beauty, for its magic. And the bell has rung, slowly coming to a seated position. Thank you so much for joining me. Tomorrow we are doing the full body yoga. I'm Kate. If I can do it, you can also do it. Let us get healthy and wealthy together. Namaskar, and I'll see you all tomorrow. Stay well. Who's bubbling? It's you, isn't it? Turn off. That's better. Hey, good morning, namaskar, or however we like to greet each other. I've just finished my yoga. That's why I'm dressed like this. And thanks to everybody who's been coming on your live yoga stream. It's been such a pleasure to have you. And now I want to tell you a very exciting thing, and that is that we're starting a detox tomorrow. And I'm part of a whole global group that are doing it. Some of you know that I went to Cebu years ago. Well, a couple of times, Modu and I have been with Rashmi one time, and I've been myself another time just to do the detox practitioner course. So when we're running our retreat center, we're often running detoxes. Now, a whole group of practitioners from all around the world, led by Dada Dharma, who some of you have met when I've done fasting camps here. He sometimes is here in January. He's going to get all the practitioners to help people come through the end of COVID and get out of that gloopy feeling. So we'll be available for a 5-day detox that anyone is welcome to join. You pay as you feel, which means it's up to you how much you want to give or don't want to give, because we understand people have been going through so much with unemployment and losing jobs and all that stuff. But even more than that, people have been going through such a lot because being at home, there's nothing to do but watch Netflix and eat. I mean, really. I was talking to Mum yesterday, And she said, oh my God, apparently now, at the first few weeks, nobody could buy toilet paper. But now the thing is, I don't know why my lights are flashing. But anyway, now no one can, there's no flour left. Everybody's baking sourdough bread. Now, sourdough bread's a really lovely comfort food. I think it's a fantastic food. But the reality of sourdough bread is that it constipates you really tremendously. And if you're one of those people who doesn't drink enough water, so to do a detox, I'm going to encourage you all, if you want to join us tomorrow, please today up your water to 3 liters. You'll need to have at least 3 waters in your body, 3 liters of water in your body in order to start to eliminate the stuff that started to build up. If you want to join us, I would suggest you go out today and get yourself an enema bag. Have a look for some psyllium husk. I'll put the link on my page here and also on Modu's page, also in the Glass House page and also on the fasting page. So lots of places to access this. You just make your application so that we can check what you want to do and why you want to do it. And if you are sick, how sick you are. And what we'll do is every single day, you'll be assigned to a different practitioner, and every day we'll have a Zoom call for you and a group of up to 10. And we'll talk about what healing symptoms you have. Of course, if you want to pick up personally, you can approach your practitioner and see, for some fee, have some private lessons with them about your illnesses. If you're specifically got something that you're fasting for, you might have early stages of cancer or arthritis, kidney stones, liver stones. There's so many different things we can have, gallstones and so on. So fasting will help with all of that kind of stuff, stiff joints. But the basic fast is just to clean your guts out. Because if you are one of those people who's making sourdough bread at home, like my mum, there'll be some impacts. And the impacts are, that your digestive system is going to be slowed down. What we want to do is, if you want to do the fasting or I call it graduated fasting, if you want to do the detox, usually we don't go straight into juice. We'll do a day where you'll be doing some graduated fasting into raw foods, fruit and veggies. And then from there, we'll go into liquids. And then from the liquids, you'll be able to do some enemas and some cleaning at home. We'll teach you how to do that so you can clean yourself at home nicely. And as I said, we'll be available on call virtually. But we'll certainly be checking in once a day with everybody, maybe twice a day for some of you, just to see how you're getting on. And you'll be given the full description of how to do it. So there's a YouTube up that says that I'll put the post also into this group, so you can have a listen to what Dada, who's our trainer, he runs the Global Wellness Center in Cebu, and he trains practitioners, doctors, and wellness and naturopaths and all sorts of people into fasting as a medicine for illness. And so all of us have done that, and people can support you and help you. And then also I would suggest, as well as buying an enema and the psyllium husk, I'll put that up on my page so you know what we're talking about. Also, I would suggest, because I'm really big on emotions and sentiments that arise, get yourself a little diary and a pen, because it's really, really helpful when you're doing detoxing to process emotions. They surely come up. My experience is there's no way that we're not holding feelings with our physical stuff. So especially if you've got any chronic diseases, you'll find that pen and paper or a little diary, a journal, is extremely helpful to start to write your way out. And the other thing is to grab some colored, I keep crayons and stuff like that, or draw your way through. Draw the stuff out. So if you're in my group, we'll be doing some visualizations and stuff around how to draw out what you're hanging on to emotionally during the detox. Okay, that's my time up. The bell is rung. I'll come on a few times today to talk about it. If you're interested, check the links here. We can be fasting tomorrow, or graduated fasting, detoxing. We can be detoxing tomorrow. I know a few of you already said you want to do it, so I'll get you all set up today. Fantastic. And go out and buy yourself an enema and get yourself a pen and a journal, and also you'll need some psyllium husk. If you're constipated, psyllium husk. that's easily obtained from health food shops and so on. Psyllium husk is really good to start to sweep out the large and small intestines. Okay, lovely. I'm Kate. If I can do it, you can do it. Let's get healthy. Look at all this blub, blub, blub going on with my lights. Let's get healthy and wealthy together. Namaskar. Ba-doo, ba-doo, ba-doo. Okay, let's move on. Kristen.
Hey, hello. I hit FaceTime by mistake. I'm good. How are you? No, this is fine. This is free for me. How are you getting on? You've been able to. Yeah, go ahead. Yeah. Mm. Oh, really? Okay. Brave move. Well done. Mm. Yeah. Oh. Yeah. Yeah. Wow. Good move. You got your mum supporting you. I bet you she's right in there. Yeah. Yeah. Mm. Mm. And the kids? Yeah, the kids. Great. Oh, wow. Yeah. Mm. Okay, well, as far as he goes, it might be the wake up call that he needs. He might get himself into 12 steps. My husband's starting to now, and that's pretty miraculous. I don't know what happened, but unless you make a bit of effort, mate. And I didn't even have to deliver the ultimatum. It was just like I withdrew. I just was like, well, I'm going to take myself out of this, more and more now. I mean, I was still there for my daughter, but I spent a lot of time away from home. And he could see I kind of moved on. Really. So he came back around and said he's in RCA with me. We're working the steps together at the moment. And I think at some stage he'll pick up a 12-step program himself. And he's also very sick at the moment. So, yeah. So anyway, just see how it goes with your husband. With Chris. I hope for your sake that he starts to realize what he's losing. But if not, you're beautiful and you're intelligent and you're young and you've got a whole future ahead of you. So there'll be somebody, if it's not Chris, there'll be somebody who's meant to be with you and protect you and love you. Absolutely. If that's helpful. Otherwise, if you want to go it alone, you're brave enough. I reckon you'll be strong enough to do that too. And program stuff? How are you going with your program? And your business? Mm. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, well, what I can suggest from my side, look, I'm pretty into FUA. Go and have a look at all the symptoms again on the website and just see, sit down, write out and see if they apply. And if they do, I'm finding it to be an incredibly powerful program. And it's pushing me, it's giving me not just the motivation, I feel myself really wanting to push through some of the stuff. And especially about online things. I mean, now we're really confronted with that. That's a very real issue. So I'm finding the most innovative and really creative women. I mean, there's men there as well, but there's a lot of determination to get through this, and people definitely see it as a disease. What you're describing, that fear and like, what's wrong with me? Why can't I do it? It's kind of like, this is obvious stuff, but how come I just can't do it? Press a few buttons and make things start to work. That's really, for me, UA under earning is a possibility, but if you feel drawn towards I find the program much stronger. If you're not wasting time, you've got full intention to do and you're not hiding, you're out there, but you still can't get through the beliefs of it, have a look at FUA, financial under earners. It might be just something to do with a bigger money story. And behind that for me is just a low sense of self-worth. And also there's this ideology that I don't deserve because I'm a woman. I don't deserve to do it, which I know is just absolute rubbish, but I've just got this idea of business people looking like that and not looking like this. And it's like, it doesn't make sense, but there's just not enough role models out there for us to go, oh, of course, it's obvious. So if you're finding all of that stuff is the kind of, have a look in FUA. I'll be in there in a couple of hours. So see if you can get on that call and have a look at the website. There's tons of stuff. There's a YouTube channel too called Financial Under Earners. Have a look at the founder, Jay, and just see if it resonates. And if it does, give it a go. Mm. Mm. Sounds like it. Okay. Yeah, well, that's a big part also of lots and lots. Everything that we do, we have to reward ourselves. It's so much fun learning how to do rewards. I started taking Rashmi to fun parks, and it's like, oh my goodness. But listen, I got to go. My dad's got cancer, and it's time for me to give a call through to him and Mum. And so I've just got to get off the. Yeah, I know. It's sad. He's going to die soon, so I've got a daily call now, so I want to get onto that now. But I will see you in the FUA place, or just, call again, of course. But just get on the meeting and have a listen. Try 6 meetings, see if it works, and if it feels right. Otherwise, I'd suggest UA. If FUA doesn't feel right, try UA. Yeah. Okay, gorgeous. So, thank you so much. I just finished a yoga class. My hair's a bit of a mess, but yeah. Got to go. You're looking gorgeous too. It's like, oh, so nice to see you. Bye-bye, love. Sure. Bye. Hi, Dad. How's it going? Sorry I'm late. Ah. Okay. Well, I was going to offer, it's really up to you guys, because there's not much that, can be done in terms of, it's up to you. You both. Length of time. Yeah. Which is fantastic, Mum. It's so good. And then the other sides of it, is there any chance of the liver at this age and stage of life to kind of kick in and help itself and so on? No, we don't know. Is that we hang on to. No, he doesn't. So so they're all really good things. But people who do think in a negative way, they tend to like that. And if there's something growing in that area, even just a little bit of bad blood, if you like, can feed the cancer. So this is speaking purely from a wellness, detox, what I do kind of point of view. So I was wondering with him, and I started talking with him. Look, do you want to try? It's going to save you. I don't think it would. But in the last stages of your illness, do you want to just try and ease into a better health all over health. Of course, the cancer may grow, but in the meantime, maybe it'll take some of the toxins out of the body, and Dad won't have to die from toxic shock. Which is the other thing that if you have a look on the websites and stuff, that's what it talks about. That as the liver stops being able to detox the body, then the toxins in the body start doing their thing in all the other organs, which means the brain and the lungs and everything. So confusion, tiredness, exhaustion, eventually the body just kind of packs down toxins. So what I know with the chemo is it's toxic. It's a poison, and what it's doing is trying to kill the cancer cells. But because his liver's not there to sort of function and kick back in and get the toxins away from the other cells, he's going to tox himself up. Oh, look, my thinking was, Mum, if he like talk to Andrew and see what Andrew says about him not doing any more chemo. I mean, definitely getting ready to die. There's no way around that. We all know that. But his body through toxic shock. To start with, greens, broths, and food that's going to clean his liver and clean his body and clean his digestion, and just let him go back into having sort of ease in the body and also ease in his brain. He won't be toxing up then, and the body can keep detoxing, but of course the cancer's going to grow. So it's another way to sort of work it out, really. Great. Yeah, just say, look, yeah, good, Mum. Ask them. Yeah, ask them in their experience. Is it better? Like, he'll have to go on painkillers at some stage, not now, but he will have to, because what happens with the liver, it does hurt. I've been looking at some stuff online, and they're saying, yeah, the livers, generally people say it doesn't hurt, but actually towards the end it really does start hurting. So he'll be on morphine anyway. Yeah, exactly. So he'll be on morphine anyway, which is another whole, story of what that does to the brain and everything like that. I mean, what reality is that he kind of likes to be conscious, and he likes to use age. I guess we've just got to say, well, he's going to have to let that go, and like what happened with Jen, that vagueness and confusion and stuff starts to happen, and in the end, he won't know who's who and what's what, and that'll be a lot of that's morphine, Mum. Because that's just what painkillers do. They beat a block so that your brain doesn't understand things, and then your brain stops understanding lots of things. So there's no way around that, I don't think. I think he's going to have morphine in the last probably week of his life, and then prior to that, however you guys want. If you ask the palliative care what they think. I mean, I'm only taking it from my yogic, wellness perspective, and certainly that are at fourth stage cancer. I don't even attempt it because I know it's too hard. But prior to that, the conversation is, do you want to detox your body and be at ease inside, the organs and stuff that you've got, have more ease with them, or would you rather try and, stop the cancer and have that sort of toxic effect? It's just two different approaches. And the palliative care, just ask them what they think, what their experience is. All right, Mum. Yeah. I've been talking to Jim. Yeah. Yeah, Mum. And I mean, yeah. I think so. I mean, what I can do is I'm going to be starting a detox tomorrow with a whole group of people, about 9 or 10. But again, they don't have fourth stage cancer, but it's just normal people. But I will be doing some. I mean, I'm going to be on Zoom with them every single day, on calls with Dad, and also we're doing stuff like meditation, and we're doing the whole kind of thing and working through different emotions, a bit like the work I did with Pam, to sort of help her get to ease with leaving her. She had stuff with her mum and all that stuff. Dad hasn't got any of that stuff, but it's nice to feel eased as you go through these processes. So anyway, I can help if that's helpful. All right, Mum, got to go. Love ya. Bye, love. Bye. Four oh four 903. Hello, Deborah. I'm sorry I'm late. Let's do the serenity prayer. God, grant us the serenity to accept the things we cannot change, courage to change the things we can, wisdom to know the difference, and the prosperity to afford it. Okay, tell me, how are you getting on? Sure. Of your life is she involved in? She's oh, okay. Oh, I understand. I know now. Okay. To do anything much with her, that's okay. And not many people are very well inside of business, so don't worry about it. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Look, so don't worry too much about it. I don't think you really need to spend a lot of time trying to work it out. It sounds like you've already done a fourth step on it, so that's really good. And then as far as business and stuff like that goes, my experience so far has been that it's a little bit like it's almost like we're the first wave of alcoholics who started to realize that alcoholism is a disease and that lots of people have it. And then some of them got really like, oh my God, we've got to cure everyone. This is terrible. And some of them got, oh no, I'm the only person who's an alcoholic. Everybody else can handle their drink. But it's not like that. It's somewhere in the middle. Now, it's the same with business. We think, oh God, everybody knows how to do this and they're all such nice people and they can all manage money without going crazy. And the reality is it's not like that. There's lots and lots of addicts out there who don't know how to handle money and who make a big mess when they get hold of it. And they hurt other people and they've got, when they're getting money together. And it can be horrible. And they need to be in FUA, but they're not here. So don't worry about it. Yeah. Yeah, what'd you get? All right, tell me short form. All right, we'll read a little bit now if you like. You can come back and do a bit more later. What do you got? Okay. Hold it. If that, hang on a second. If that's the case, that you're now starting to see what you really needed to see, then again, I'm going to invite you to make some outreach calls and start calling. And what I did with my symptoms was I timed it. So I sat down, or the first person I called, and I said, listen, can I just call and tell you my symptoms, please? I know you've done this once already, but it doesn't matter. You can do it again. Gives you a chance to start to outreach more. And then on the first call, just only read the symptoms. Don't talk about it. Don't discuss anything that what you feel about it. Don't try to explain it. Just read straight off those 7 pages. See how long it takes. And then text 4 more people and say, it takes me 20 minutes or 24 minutes to do this. Can you please witness me as I read my symptoms? And get this over and done with, huh? Because we don't want to keep going back to the symptoms again and again and again. What we want to do is be able to see, I've got these symptoms. Everybody knows I've got these symptoms. I don't have to keep talking about them. I'm just going to finish my work on symptoms. You get it? Yeah. Yeah. So that way, I tell you what, you've got to get to the point, and this is what happened to me. I read them out to 10 people. And by the time I'd read them out 10 times without talking about them, without saying anything more about them, just reading them out, I was so tired of those symptoms. And I knew them so well that I could never be bothered talking about them ever again. Neither at meetings, neither to my sponsor, never again. It was like, right, I don't even care. Yeah. I sure do, and I know which ones are rearing their head when you talk about them. So just do it. Just get them done until you're tired of talking about them. And when you're really tired of talking about them, and there's no more, oh, it's so terrible, or oh, this thing is doing this to me, when all of that's gone because you're just bored with it. Basically, you need to get bored with your symptoms. And then you'll stop. Yeah. Yeah. Yep. You text and you say, all I want to do, all my sponsor said is I just read my symptoms. I'm not going to talk about them. I don't care about your symptoms. I'm just going to read my symptoms. And just ask 5 people. Ask 5 people to witness your symptoms, and then you can tell me about your symptoms. And if you still are emotional about them, you'll have to read them out to 5 more people. You have to get so bored. Who cares? They don't. It doesn't matter. They're in the program. It doesn't matter. That's all you have to do. Just do those phone calls. Don't worry about anything. I promise you, this is going to make it. This is going to make the rest of the steps so much easier. Yeah. It's perfect. Bring it to a meeting. If you don't want to call people, just sit down in the meeting and read out those symptoms. It doesn't. I did that as well. I just said, okay, and now I'm. Yeah. I'll forget about that for now. Yeah. At least text 10 people because only 5 of them will answer. So just text everybody. Text everybody. You should have by now. You should have everybody's numbers who are on the line. That means Amy, Leanne, Sarah, the whole lot. You should have everybody's phone numbers by now. So text them all and just say I need, and give yourself you think it's going to take 20 minutes to read 7 pages. Or tell them you need 25, or give yourself enough time. It's good if you finish early, but just tell them if you think it's going to take 30 minutes. You'll know by the time you've done the first one, you'll know how long it takes. Absolutely. It's called witnessing. It means please witness my symptoms. Please witness my symptoms. I need to talk about them. I need to read out what I've discovered and just rattle them off. Yeah. And no explaining. Whatever you're talking about, don't bother explaining it. Just rattle them off. Word for word, whatever's written there. And just, you can even say, it might not make sense to you, but it makes sense to me. Thanks for listening. All right? Beautiful. Good job, Deborah. We'll speak tomorrow. Let's, God, grant us the serenity to accept the courage to change the things we can, and the wisdom to know the difference, and the prosperity to afford.